pointing at me. You're always pointing at me. We said the clock's 10 minutes back. Oh, okay. I'm just kidding. It's your little clock. It's
We just need to sit down with you. On a video. Right. Yeah, so on a video. Do you mean as like an admin person, like not your personal account, right? Yeah, just
Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Good morning. Welcome to today's family service. My name is Dwight Meitzenheimer, and I will be your chairperson today. We will begin this morning's service with San Bujo on pages 24 and 25 in the Purple Book. now have sutra chanting, Ju Ne Re, on page 67 of the Purple Book.
Geishu Tenin Shokugyo Amida Sen Ryozoku Son Zai Bimeo Andako Muryo Bushishu Ineo Konjiki Shinjo Nyosen no Shamata Gyo Nyozobu Ryomoku Jonyaku Shorenge Koga Chorai Midason Menzen Enjo Nyomangas Iko Yunyo Sen Ichigas Shonyo Tenku Kushira Koga Chorai Midason Kannon Chodai Kanshuju Shuju Meoso Oshogon Nobukuge no Makeoman Koga Chorai Midason Mubi Mugu Koshojo Shutoku Keuke Sunyo Koku Shosari Yakutoku Jizai Koga Chorai Midason Jippo Myomon Bosashu Muryo Shoma Josandan Isho Shujo Kanrikiju Koga Chorai Midason Kontai Hoken Shishoke Zengon Shoujo Meodaiza Ohiza Jonyosen no Koga Chorai Midason Jippo Shorai Shobushi Kengen Jinzu Shianak Sengo Sonnen Jokugyo Koga Chorai Midason Shokumu Jomudato Yakunyo Suikatsu Zenryoro Ishu Seppo Munyoji Koga Chorai Midason Ison Busetsu Bu Akugyo Yakumunyo ni Akudofu Shunichi Shinkyo Ison Koga Chorai Midason Ison Muryo Obenkyo Mushoshu Akuchishi Ojo Butai Shibodai Koga Chorai Midason Gasetsu Hison Kudokuji
Please stand for the Gatha, We Are One, on page 150 of the White Book, and remain standing for the reading of the Three Treasures on page 8 of the Purple Book.
Please switch books. Purple Book, page 8. Three Treasures, number 1. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be freed from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Please be seated.
Now Reverend Fujimoto will share a Dharma message with us.
Namanda, 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 Namanda. Good morning. Ohayougozaimasu. Okay. Is the sound okay? Can we hear way back in the back? It's okay. Good. Okay. Thank you. I'd like to start with this reading written by Renyo Shoni. So please join me in Gassho. The Buddha Dharma is a teaching of non-ego. Even a fraction of ego should not be involved in the dealings of life. Nobody thinks that he is wrong. This is what Shinran Shonin cautions us against in strong terms. This school teaches the other power. Egoistic pursuits should be avoided by all means. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Okay, thank you. So, in this quote, Renyo Shonin is talking about our ego-centeredness, and the Buddha Dharma teaches about non-ego, so not being so tied to our ego-centeredness. And he's pointing to Shinran Shonin as his teachings are showing this in all of his writings. Okay, so he says egoistic pursuits should be avoided by all means. So today I was looking at the service order and thinking about the service order and how we share this teaching of avoiding being so ego-centered. We talk about this week after week. We have stories, okay, about the difficulties that come up from ego. Greed, anger, and ignorance are the three poisons that are rooted in our ego, okay? So today and most Sundays we read the three treasures. In the last portion about the Sangha, it says, may we live in harmony, right? To get along with each other. We come together and we don't just think about ourselves. We consider how others are doing. Are they well? Do they look okay today? Sharing food, sharing time, getting ready for the bazaar, and we talk and we chat and we check in with each other. And so rather than just coming for ourselves, we're coming to get to know other people and check with other people. So we are being reminded through the three treasures, and that's why we read it so often, to be freed of all hindrances. So the three poisons are our hindrances, and become units of true accord, which means to get along with each other. And when I think of the word accord, I think of music, right? A beautiful chord, beautiful melody, that things fit very well with each other. And so we, as individuals, we want to be so we fit in, and there's no distraction. It's more of this harmony, accord that we're talking about, and to be freed from the bondage of selfishness. Okay. So it's telling us to live a life not constricted by our ego attachments that cause the suffering of greed, anger, ignorance. We point to this every week. Shindan Shonin points this out in his writing. Renyo Shonin, in this quote, he pointed this out. Okay. They passed out at the Jodo Shinshu Center this magazine, The Lion's Roar. Some of us are familiar with this. It's been around for a long time, but now we have a connection. The Jodo Shinshu Center, Buddhist Churches of America, and the Lion's Roar group. They came to the Jodo Shinshu Center to have one of their meetings there recently. Okay, and I don't know, 10 years ago, they kind of downplayed Shin Buddhism as one of those ethnic type of Buddhism that's more based on superstition and ritual. And now that they have heard a little bit more about Shin Buddhism, reading articles by some of our teachers and things like this, they think, oh, it is real Buddhism. So now we are included in these other groups that have been based in Theravada Buddhists and Tibetan Buddhist practice and things. So right on the cover, the antidote to greed, hatred, and ignorance. Okay, front page news. But no matter what, on these polished things, Dharma talks, reading articles, always addressing ego-centeredness, greed, anger, and ignorance. Okay, so we're looking at this, and I was thinking about this because I was reading a horse manual, trying to do things so I can learn how to work with shadow a little bit better. And as I was reading it, transferring what they were saying to what we say here, so ego is from the realm of the left brain. Okay, this part of the brain. This is the realm of language, the voice that we hear every day. We wake up in the morning, okay, I'm hungry, what should I eat this morning? And you go to the bathroom, you look at it yourself, my hair looks great today. So all these things that we talk about, we hear this voice, and this voice is our ego voice, not our true voice, but our ego voice. But we hear it all the time, and that's what we think is me, right? So this ego-centered voice comes from this side of the brain, and the right hemisphere of the brain is a silent partner, can express and recognize through music, art, rhythm, chanting. Okay, and so this right side of the brain does not vocalize things. Okay, so this is reinterpreted from a book I was reading about the two halves of the human brain. So it was written by this Dr. Alan Hamilton, okay, and he's a very respected horse trainer, but in his profession, he's a neurosurgeon, okay, one of the top brain surgeons in the world. So when he writes something about this, I kind of perk up and pay attention, okay. So I was thinking about what he is saying, and I was looking at the service order. You know, there's kind of a balanced approach, and we kind of lay it out, and you know, we do different things. We sing the song, so everyone rise, then we sit back down, and we do chanting, and you know, Dwight today, as our chairperson, announces these different things. So, for example, the kansho, hitting the kansho, it's the right brain. Oshoko, Dwight comes up to offer incense before we start. Right brain. Good morning. Welcome to today's service. The words come out. Left brain. Okay. We'll now have sutra chanting. Right brain. Okay. And now we'll have a gatha. Right brain. And a reading. 3 treasures. Left brain. Okay. Now we'll have our Dharma talk. Good morning. Ohayougozaimasu. Left brain. Okay, and we're alternating. Now we'll have our second gatha, right brain. Okay, acknowledgments, thank you, welcome to our visitors, left brain. So we're going back and forth, not only up and down, but left brain, right brain, left brain, right brain. Okay, and all this is going on every week. Lenny says, what shall we do next week? Right? And we go over the service. What shall we sing? And what shall we do? What do we call this service? And we settle all these things. But the basic elements were there's a balance of both sides of our brain, right? So I was thinking, okay, let's do this. Can you see that? Can you see that? Okay, read the words. What's the first word? Red. Second word? Green. And the third word? Blue. Okay, say the words red, blue. Good. Okay, you could read pretty good. Okay. Now, say the colors. Okay, so that takes a little bit of adjustment. So we recognize the colors, but that's a silent part of our brain, and it kind of has to translate to the other side, and then the words come out, and we read it red, green, blue. Right? So two different halves of the brain is what we're trying to point out today. So when we look at the service order, we're alternating. So what would you think if we had just a right brain service without words? So I'd hit the kansho. How would that work? Hit the kansho. Dwight comes up to Oshoko, comes to the microphone and just smiles. Okay? And maybe he points over here so we know what we're going to chant. Okay? Then we do the chanting, right? Right brain, we do the Juseige or Junirai today. Okay? And we sing a gatha. And we sing the song. And there'll be no reading, no Dharma talk. Second gatha, okay? Then we leave and we go eat. Wouldn't that be funny? Or if we did it the other way around, okay? We'd have the introduction. Good morning. Welcome to today's service. My name's Dwight Meitzenheimer. And then no chanting. Today our Dharma message will be given by Reverend Fujimoto. So I give my Dharma message. And then we'll have announcements. And we go and eat, right? So kind of feels incomplete, right? So I think we do a good job of balancing the two. We get up to stretch our legs a little bit. We're also using right brain, left brain, right brain, left brain. So one of the things Dr. Hamilton was saying was that he was talking about the horse having two right brains, okay? They don't vocalize anything, right? So two brains, and they're separate as well. So when you train a horse, teach him to do something, you teach him from this side, and you teach him the same lesson from this side, because there's no transference from right to left, okay? So he has two right brains, no left brain, okay? And they're smaller, but they've lived for thousands and thousands of years, and they've honed these qualities. So the right brain is so in tune. Every little twitch of his body is signaling to others, and so they are able to live and stay safe from their predators because of all these signals that they're able to read the world. Okay, so they are in tune with this. And at the same time, because they're not vocalizing, they're not thinking, gee, I sure look good today. You know, I'm probably the best chanter in all of Alameda. And they're not giving themselves compliments or anything like this. They're not ego-centered, right? So in one part of this book, Dr. Hamilton was talking about this experiment that happened in the early 19th century. This other physician, British physician, Dr. Wiggins, and he had an acquaintance that died very suddenly, so people were shocked that he died. So he volunteered he would like to do an autopsy to find out what happened, that this person they had just visited recently, and all of a sudden he died. So he was doing an autopsy, and he opened up the brain, and when he opened up the skull, there was no right hemisphere. It was empty. I don't know how that happened, but no right hemisphere. And he's wondering how could that be. Just a few days earlier, they had conversation. They wrote a verse together, and all these things happened. And he said his friend presented himself perfectly, like a perfectly rational, functional human being. And he didn't even have his right side of his brain. So through that, he changed his course of research, and he was studying that and trying to look into other examples. And this has gone on for continuing to today. Different things of the separation of right brain, left brain, and there's more current experiments. They're trying to stop epileptic seizures, so they cut the connection between the right and the left, and doing experiments that with people who have had that severed left and right brain. And one thing they found out, giving instructions to this right side, stick out your tongue, okay? No response, nothing happens. But if they show a picture of somebody sticking their tongue out, you get a chuckle out of them, that he'll recognize something he thinks is a little bit funny, and maybe he could copy that, right? So this side, the nonverbal side, nonverbal stimulation would reach this side, okay? So showing the different function of each side of the brain. So Dr. Hamilton is talking about this as I was looking at this horse training book, the different sides of each, okay? So he's saying the horse can be our teacher, okay? The horse next to Shadow, his name is Sensei. Some of you have heard this story. I share this story. So when their people come, say, "Oh, hi, Sensei," and I think they're talking to me, right? I'm looking around, who knows me? But they're talking to their horse, right? So the horse is named Sensei. But Dr. Hamilton says they can be our teachers, our Zen instructors, the horses, and because they are too right-brained, we have to cultivate that part of the brain that's not so egotistical, that's not so me-oriented. So he said, we separate from the word dominant me to the separate realm, other-centered we. Okay, horses normally connect as we, the identity of the herd rather than the self, not the individual. They find safety in being with a group, right? When we first got our first horse, Half Moon, someone had donated the horse, and unexpectedly, to all the people who had horses all the time, we happened to win. We won the horse in a raffle. So the one person who donated the horse, talking to Charmin, said, "So what are you going to do? You're going to get a goat?" We didn't know what he's talking about. You can't just have one horse. You got to have a companion. So he's leading us to get another horse, right? And so kind of like the bait and switch, easy to get a little goat. But now we got talked into getting 2 horses, but they need to be more than just one horse, okay? They have to have a companion, and hopefully they'll be part of a herd, a larger group, like at the stable. So they are we framework. Their mind works in the sense of we rather than me, okay? So at service, we establish order and a process. We talk about ego-centeredness, greed, anger, and ignorance. And we're talking about, two, the portion of ourselves that recognize these words, right? We get these fancy magazines that we can read. These are all word oriented, okay? And then through the other aspects, the chanting, singing, gasho, all of these things are right brain activities. And through this, we address the whole person, not just one side, not just the me, but the me and the we, because we have both of these, okay? So this is what's happening at service. So as we do this, we talk about and we signal to ourselves the existence of our ego-centeredness and the difficulties that it causes in our lives. And this is encouraging the right side of our brain to step out of its shell, to be more assertive. Can't say speak up, huh? It's not going to speak up, but to be more assertive and to recognize that this ego-centeredness does not have to dominate our lives. And I think this is what the Dharma is guiding us towards, right? To let this right side that connects to each other, that connects to Amida, connects to the infinite, to recognize that, to realize that that is a natural part of us that we downplay, that we stifle, right? I think that's one of the reasons it seems so limited. It's fun to hear lectures and go to class and things like this, but everything for the most part is so left brain oriented that we're excluding so much of ourselves. So if we have this balanced approach that we have here at the temple during service, and we do this for a purpose, and we're awakened to this new ability to see. Okay, so it's not just to be living a balanced life, but if we open this and connect to this greater reality, this kind of guides us to prepare for our Shinjin, our awakening. Okay, and then we see the whole world, all of life, in a different, completely different perspective. Okay, please join me in Gassho. The Buddha Dharma is a teaching of non-ego. Even a fraction of ego should not be involved in the dealings of life. Nobody thinks that he's wrong. This is what Shinran Shonin cautions us against in strong terms. This school teaches the other power. Egoistic pursuits should be avoided by all means. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda. Right. Thank you.
Thank you for your message, Sensei. Please stand for Gatha Nembutsu 1 on the white book on page 99. Please be seated. Thank you to those who've helped with the altar preparations and with the service. Reverend Dennis, YouTube Morgan, altar flowers Jackie, Dorothy, and Lenny, and organist Lenny. Are there any newcomers or visitors today? If so, please stand. And introduce yourself. Thank you for attending today. I have several announcements. Next Saturday, June 20th, is the bazaar preparations. Sunday, June 21st, is no service. Again, we have bazaar preparations. Friday, June 26th, bazaar preparations and setup. Saturday, June 27th, the bazaar from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Sunday, June 28th, the bazaar from noon to 7 p.m. And Sunday, July 5th, Suki monthly memorial service. And after that, the ABWA meeting. If anyone needs any additional raffle tickets, please see Dorothy. There she is. And the silent auction is asking for donations for the bazaar. And there's a shelf in the back of the social hall if you want to donate. Today is Birthday Sunday. We would like to celebrate those who have a birthday in the month of June. Anyone celebrating a birthday this month, please come up and do a shoko. To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Birthday to you.
Who's older?
Thank you for attending this morning's service. Please come forward to offer incense and join us for refreshments in the social hall.
Thank you.